Hello and welcome to the 2025 UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Championships, coming to you from Sakarya in Turkey. My name's Emma Martin and I am so pleased that you can join me for all of the action today. The big news is the Gaia Tormena, the 5 times women world champion, is out, leaving the field wide open today here in Sakarya. The men's field, 3 previous world champions on the start sheet today. Well, as you can see, we are located on the Black Sea on northwestern Turkey. Beaches, lakes, rivers, hot springs and cycling. There's going to be hot cycling today and hot cyclists because this course is going to be fast and furious. A big wide start straight leading into the left-hand berm that takes them down the wooden steps onto the rock garden. A fast pace, fast momentum up and onto the bridge, onto the climb that's normally a technical challenge here for our riders in Sakarya. Slightly wider this year, overtaking opportunities abound. You take the left-hand corner, down over the rock garden, down over the jump, onto the tarmac, left hand, right hand. This year new, we come up onto the stage. Love this feature on the course today. Drop off and then up onto the bridge. Our traditional rumble strips on the bridge descent. Then we take that tight left-hand corner into the finish line. The riders have got 2 laps today of this shortened course here in Sakarya. It's going to be absolutely fabulous, fast and furious, the World Championships today, and expect some phenomenal racing. Well, for 2025, the Eliminator World Championships, it feels like it's coming early. We've had 2 rounds of the World Cup so far. Now, early on today, the qualifications and the 8s took place. I can tell you Madison Boissier is also out from training yesterday. We're going to go straight into the women's quarterfinals. Now, in the individual time trial earlier on, the fastest time was set by Didi de Vries. Sukapolova, 0.97 of a second back in second. Marion Fromberger at 2 seconds. Borrelli at 3 seconds. There was 6 seconds separating the top 10 women in that individual time trial earlier on. It was a phenomenal qualification, and we are going to see the racing come through today. Now, this is going to be the first quarterfinals up and ready. You can see there the results of the individual time trial earlier on today. 71 riders in total from 19 different countries today on the start earlier on today. The top 32 riders have come through to the quarter-finals, and those are the ones that we are going to watch race for that rainbow jersey today. Well, down on the track, they are getting ready and waiting for the first of the quarter-finals today. We've got 4 riders down in the start pen at the moment. So they're going to be given the 15 seconds to go as normal, waiting to find out over the next hour who is going to take away that World Championship title for 2025. So Sakarya has indeed been the home of the World Cup previously in Turkey. We have hosted, in fact, the World Cup does come back to Sakarya later in the year. But right now, get ready, because the very first World Championships of the mountain bike summer season is about to get underway. The riders for the first heat are down in the start pen. We have, from the Netherlands, Didi de Vries. She is a rider who is on real form today. She's getting better and better. She took her first World Cup win in 2024. She finished 5th in round 1 of the World Cup this year. She finished 4th in round 2. She has got to be a favourite to make that final today. The rest of the riders, well, it's Constantina Giorgio from Greece, it's Colleen Clouzieux from France, it's Hannah Beck from Germany, and Didi de Vries from the Netherlands. The riders pushing on, and it is indeed De Vries in 1, in that orange jersey, in that kit from the Netherlands. She's pushing on up onto the grass. The start here wide before they drop down onto the steps, and you can see the steps and the rock garden, the first real feature that the riders face off of that start pen, and De Vries doing what she did earlier on, that time on the individual time trial, fought 1 lap earlier on, absolutely outstanding. So it's Didi De Vries in 1, it is Giorgio in 2. Now, the first 2 riders from these heats to progress to the semi-finals today. The German rider Beck just off the pace at the moment, coming down through the rock garden. Colleen Clousier, the rider from France, in 3rd at the moment, challenging Giorgio for that 2nd place. In fact, that's going to be a real battle today. Constantina Giorgio took 8th place in that individual time trial. Colleen Clousier took 9th. There was fractions of a second separating those 2 riders out on the course as Giorgio comes past De Vries at the end of lap 1. They're about to come round the corner to see the finish straight before they go out onto lap 2. And it is Constantina Giorgio, the rider from Cyprus, who is out in the lead at the moment. De Vries looks over her shoulder. She sees Colleen Clousier on that shoulder. Now, Clousier was the world champion in 2018 before Gaia Tormena started her run at the Eliminator World Championships. Clousier will have something to prove. She's the only previous world champion here today in the women's competition, but Didi De Vries pushes on again as she goes out onto the technical features of lap 2. She's up and over the bridge. She's leading the charge into the climb. Now, she did indeed do exactly this last time round, and Clousier and Giorgio are having elbows out on the climb behind. They both want that P2 because 2 riders go through, 1 rider goes out, 3 riders in contention here. De Vries gets the clean run at the rock garden and the jump. I think Clousier has unclipped. It's going to see how she's a class rider, Colleen Clousier. She knows how to handle the issues during the race. Do not expect to come and have a clean race. Know what to do, know how to handle the issues as they come off of the stage. Now the drop off the stage onto the final bridge. The rumble strips are there. Giorgio's in 2, Clausier's in 3. They're coming into the final sprint. It's 2 riders here who will go through. 1 rider will go out. At the moment, that is Colleen Clousier. Didi De Vries goes through into the semi-finals today. Constantina Giorgio from Cyprus joins her. Those 2 riders will progress today. Colleen Clousier goes out. So does the young rider Hannah Beck. In fact, we can watch her finish her competition. Young rider from Germany, a student in Germany, and trying to balance cycling at this level with full-time study as well. It's a difficult thing to do, and Beck doing it really well today, getting through to the final 16 in the women's competition. No small feat at this level. So Didi De Vries, she wobbled for a moment at the end of lap 1, but she exerted her dominance in lap 2 and comfortably goes through to the final today. So heat number 2 in the women's competition, down in the start pen at the moment. We can see the riders lined up. We have indeed the French rider, Borrelli, the Ukrainian rider, Maria Scherstyuk, the rider from the Netherlands, Hilda Pennings, and the Ukrainian rider, Ola Kirchner, as they come out of the start pen. The 2 riders from Ukraine, here is Borrelli, who goes through in 1 at the moment. She's got the number 4 board on her plate. Ola Kirchner has the 13, and the riders are side by side at the moment. Big push coming from Pennings with the 12 board on her plate at the moment. The 2 Ukrainian riders just wanting to hold the track side by side as they take that left-hand drop into the first technical section, down through the steps and the rock garden. It is indeed Margot Borrelli who is out front. Borrelli riding strongly at the front of this race at the moment, taking 4th in that individual time trial earlier on today. She was 3 seconds back on De Vries' time, and she's controlling this second heat at the moment. The 2 Ukrainian riders are lined up, and at the moment those compatriots are going to be battling for that second place in the semi-final. We've got a gap coming in now at the moment. It is indeed, well, it's Maria Scherstyuk who is coming through into that second place. The Ukrainian rider took to the start in Leuven, and after Sukapalova, the Ukrainian XCO champion, winning the first round of the World Cup this year. The Ukrainian riders now present on the XCE circuit. Fabulous to see them in numbers, and the women really strong riders. So Borley in 1, Sjöström in 2. Gap back now to Kircher in 3 and Pennings in 4. It's looking like those 2 riders are not going to make the progress to the semi-finals today. So the 2 riders now clear. Margot Borley from France, Maria Sjöström from the Ukraine. The 2 riders now needing to do enough to qualify and needing to do enough to ensure their position in those semi-finals, but they need now to think about managing their energy. They've got 2 more rounds to go, and well, if you equate this is a sort of a 2-minute 25-second effort. Think about running an 800 meters 3 times in an hour. That's what these riders are doing on bikes today, and I can tell you that is one huge effort. Your ability to recover between racing, absolutely crucial. Coming up onto the stage, dropping off of the stage, the 2 riders just wheel by wheel, and we see Borley and Sjöström just riding the course now, and coming in towards the final corner. They're going to take that left-hand turning. There's no sprint. The 2 riders will progress to the semi-finals here today. So the second heat gives us our next 2 qualifiers in this women's competition. And Sjöström just reaching out to say good riding, and Borley, both of those riders happy to go through. Really good to see. So Margot Borley from France, Maria Sjöström from Ukraine, the 2 riders progressing in the competition. So heat 3 will be down in the start pen, and you can see the BMX track. The course here in Sakarya has indeed hosted World Cup BMX rounds as well. It's a really well-used cycling facility, and cycling really dominant here in this region. The Mountainbike Marathon World Championships were here in 2020 as well, as the 2 riders just congratulating each other on progressing to the finals. So heat number 3 down in the start at the moment. They are indeed lining up and ready to go. You can see the crowds. Take a look at the crowds here to watch the World Championships in Sakarya. That is absolutely phenomenal to see, and I'll tell you something. There are fans of all the riders here in that crowd today watching these heats. Now, the next group of riders away is going to be Maria Sukapalova from Ukraine, Merily Civil from Estonia. It's going to be Lena Migdam from Denmark and Nisanur Akar from Turkey. Away they go. This is heat number 3, and the riders pushing on here. Big push as they come out of the pen. You can see the Turkish rider with that 15 plate at the moment, just driving through that start. But it is indeed Maria Sukapalova. No surprises there. Pushing on the climb and really pushing on that start. Clear straight off the start before she comes into the corner and down through the technical section. Now, Maria Sukapalova, the Ukrainian rider, was a shock winner to us in round 1 of the World Cup this year. She just rode phenomenally, and I think it was a shock to her as well when you listen to her interview after taking that win in round 1 of the World Cup this year. She'd planned to ride XCO this year. In fact, she has ridden some of the XCO World Cups, but XCE has all of a sudden become her thing. And look at the dominance here of Sukapalova. She is so far clear of Lena Migdam, the rider in second place at the moment. Merily Civil and Nisanur Nakar is the rider pushing on behind. The Migdam, I think, may be challenged as we go out onto the second lap. For that place, we've now got the 3 riders going clear, and Sukapalova managing that energy. She knows she's going to be in the mix or pushing on and needing to hold something back for the later stages of the race today. She was unfortunate in round 2 in Leuven. She took a crash in the individual time trial, which took her out of the competition. So she's got something to prove here today. Lena Migdam doing a phenomenal job in P2, the rider with 10 plate on. Oh, but it's the Estonian rider, Merily Civil, who's just gone round the Danish rider. So Migdon with a strong sprint when it comes to the end of the racing, if she can be in contention. But it's Merrily Civil who has now come into that second place position. So Sukapolova and Civil, the two riders here, pushing on in heat number 3, dropping down through the rock garden. They're going to come over the drop and then on to the tarmac. Drops all over this course, changes to the course. If you have been here with us before in Sakarya in Turkey, you'll have seen a longer course used. Changes to the course for this World Championships, new features, new drops, new technical features. That stage is one of them. Fabulous to see it in the course now. But the shortening of the course, allowing 2 laps, not 1. Now Lena Migdon pushing on here. She knows she's got a sprint and she knows that's where her strength is. But Sukapolova and Cyril, I think, are clear. Cyril just coming round Sukapolova to ensure that she is level and goes through, and that there's no danger from Lena Migdon behind. Migdon and a car will go out of the competition. Sukapolova and Cyril will progress. The rider from Turkey here, a car coming through and down towards the finale of her race today, setting the 15th fastest time in the individual time trial. Always great to have a home crowd as well. Really does lift the rider with the World Championships on a home venue. Sukapolova and Civil, the two riders progressing to the semi-finals. The final heat of the women's lining up already. So there we go, confirmation that Sukapolova and Civil, the two riders heading through to the semi-finals as the Turkish rider comes through and across the line. Lena Migdon and Nissanur Kar not progressing today. So the moment that the two riders come side by side. So the final heat lining up today, we've got Marion Fromberger from Germany, we've got Isuzu Mede from France, we've got Maria Aza from Greece, and Amin Cesar from Turkey. You can see the riders lined up being given the 15-second warning. 15 seconds, we start any time soon. Oh, and away the riders go. Big, big push from the rider from Greece on that start line. And we keep moving here as the riders coming through, looking around her, wondering where everybody is. Mede is the rider pushing on here. She goes into P1 up the climb. The riders lining up behind here. It is indeed Fromberger wanting the second wheel. She doesn't want to take the lead here. She set the third fastest time in the individual time trial earlier on today. The German rider absolutely got to be willing herself through to that final today. She's got to see that door open today for that rainbow jersey. She's wanted it. She's been within touching distance of it. She's finished third last year. She's twice German champion. She's regularly on the podium in the World Cup season, and it is indeed Mede from France and Fromberger from Germany, the two riders now pulling away from the rider from Greece, Aza, and the rider from Turkey, Cesar. The two riders dropping off of the stage at the moment as the third place rider does so now. Now we move, we're coming down off the rumble strips, taking that left-hand turn into the finish straight. Three riders clear, the two riders, Mede and Fromberger. Fromberger just sat on the French rider's wheel. She knows exactly where she wants to be. She doesn't want to extend any more effort than she needs to. She's anticipating those semi-finals. She's anticipating making it through to the major final today here. And she's letting Mede do the work here. The French rider on the front. Isuzu Mede is indeed the rider in one at the moment. Marion Fromberger, the German rider, in two. Steady pacing here from these two riders, conserving energy. They're up and over the bridge, they're coming onto the climb. The gap now back to the other two riders in this heat. Now significant. Fromberger comes up onto Meadows. Well, she's just testing her legs on the climb at the moment, just ensuring and seeing how she's feeling, keeping those muscles warm. She pushes on, she's now on the rock garden. Mede just being gapped on that technical section as Fromberger now wants to come in and she wants to make this heat her own. Mede shoulder checks behind her, she knows she's clear. All she's got to do is get over the line in first or second place, and she knows she's going to progress through to that semi-final, and it's that semi-final where she needs to put that power down. Fromberger just wanting to ensure that qualification position. She comes round, she sees that finish line. The end of lap 2, Mede comes round as well. So Fromberger goes through from this heat in 1. Mede from France will go through in second place. Those two riders progressing to the semi-finals today in the women's competition. The two riders coming through now, finishing off their heat, making that top 16 today in the World Championships. Absolutely fabulous racing today. This is for those rainbow bands, and we knew the racing was going to be fast. We knew it was going to be hard, because this is the 2025 UCI Mountain Bike Eliminator World Championships, coming to you from Sakarya in Turkey. Well, the men are up next, and you can see them lined up already. Now, in that earlier individual time trial, Lind from Sweden took the fastest time. Van Eck, the defending world champion, in 2. Hampio, the young Frenchman, just 18 in 3. Now it's Kraus in 1 here, Lind in 2, Bin Lukman in 3, and Kukuzi in 4. The Brazilian rider riding really strongly as well here today. In fact, in the men's competition, the top 12, just 3.8 seconds separated them in those individual time trials. Bin Lukman has been looking strong this year, the rider from Singapore. I've been looking for a really strong performance for him. He's shown real talent, but has just not been able to hold it all together and execute a full race. Now, Bin Lukman coming through to the front, the rider from Brazil, Kukuzi, he's the rider challenging in 2. Lind and Kraus, the Swedish rider and the rider from Germany, sat back a little here. Now, Lind, second in round 1, 8th in round 2, the national champion of Sweden, also the World Cup Series winner from 2024. He is absolutely on a march here, really wants to prove this, that he can do this today. Lewis Kraus has been a phenomenal rider recently that we've seen come into form. Kraus, the 2024 German champion, also took second place in the last World Cup in Leuven. You can see him going wide. Lind following his wheel, because these two riders now want the front as they go into lap 2. And I tell you something, they're being made to work for it, because Kukosi, the Brazilian rider in green there, really pushing and making them work to take that first place. Lind gulping in air as he comes up and over the bridge, but he's got P1, he's got the position that he wants. Edvard Lind made a mistake at Leuven. He made a mistake, he was really upset and angry. He went to the paddock and he missed the start for the small final. He will not be making a mistake again. He absolutely wants to dial this, and he's right where he needs to be. He just now needs to get the bike across the line. Kraus is coming up onto Kukosi, the Brazilian rider in 2. 2 riders go through. There's 3 riders in contention. Down over the drop off the stage, up onto the bridge, down through the rumble strips. They're going to take that left-hand turn into the finish. Kukosi is in position, but it is indeed Lewis Kraus. He has a rear flat on that feature. The rider from Germany took second place in that World Cup in Leuven just a few weeks ago, running across the line in the World Championships here today. He was lining up for the sprint with Kukosi, Luis Kukosi, the Brazilian rider, for that second place, but not to be today for Lewis Kraus. Bin Lukman goes through in 3rd place, but it is indeed Edvard Lind from Sweden and Luis Kukosi from Brazil who will progress to the semi-finals today. Louis Kraus, well, the German champion, look at that rear wheel. Getting the bike across the line, absolutely crucial at the Eliminator World Championships. And wow, well, anything can happen. It really, really can. So heat number 2, we've got Simon Gegenheimer from Germany, Felix Klausmann from Germany, Jakub Klemenchik from Slovenia, and Titouan Perrin-Gagné from France. Oh, Perrin-Gagné, multiple-time world champion in this discipline, had a disappointing 2024 through illness. He's going to come back and want something proved today. Gegenheimer will want this jersey as well. The German rider riding strong. These riders all wide across the road. Klausmann, Klemenchik, Gegenheimer, Perrin-Gagné. This could be a finale. This could be the final. These 4 riders so strong. Klausmann is in here, strong rider. Klemenchik has been riding so strongly. 2nd in the European Championships in 2024, 2nd in the World Championships last year. Klemenchik has been on form this year. He took the 1st spot in the opening round of the World Cup this year. He took 3rd spot in round 2. He's currently leading the World Cup standings, and he's going to want to go through to the World Championships final today. And there we go. We have 3 riders lining up here. Jakub Klemenchik is in the green in front. Perrin-Gagné is in the blue of France in 2. Gegenheimer is in the white of Germany in 3. And don't discount Felix Klausmann, the German rider who's just put a big attack in, coming down underneath the banner, going out onto lap 2. It's Klausmann. He's handing it to the 3 riders behind. I said this could be the final. These riders are of such quality here today. Perrin-Gagné, I think, got caught up on that descent. The riders were side by side, and Perrin-Gagné is the rider who misses out here today. I know he's got a crowd of supporters out there by the side of the track. They're going to be cheering him on, even if he finishes P4 today here in this finale. I told you anything can happen. 2 riders to go through, and at the moment it's Jakub Klemenchik, the Slovenian rider, in 1. Is Gegenheimer in 2. They're coming up onto the stage. They've got 2 features to go. They're coming up onto the final bridge. It's Klemenchik and Gegenheimer. These 2 riders now clear. Klausmann is on the wheel. This is going to be a sprint, and it's going to be the 2 German riders. Oh, Gegenheimer goes wide. Klausmann goes tight. Klausmann's going to miss out because he won't be carrying the speed of Gegenheimer across the line. Titouan Perrin-Gagné, the rider from France, challenged through that technical feature in that left-hand berm there as the riders all came together as they went out onto lap 2. Felix Klausmann just taking the tight line and dropping too much momentum coming into that final straight for the race today. Well, Klemenchik and Gegenheimer go through to the semi-finals. Heat number 3 in the men, we have, well, there is Titouan Perrin-Gagné showing us that everything is okay as he finishes his race today. Heat number 3, defending champion from the Netherlands, Jeroen van Eck. The rider from Romania, Eddy Molnar. The rider from Slovenia, Matic Zagar. And Niels Rijker, the German rider, is on the start line as well, waiting to go in heat number 3. As the 15 seconds gets handed to the riders, notification, the riders are ready. Heat number 3 is go. Away they go, down the wide start straight. All riders wanting that top position, looking at each other, seeing who puts in a fast start. It's Molnar on the front at the moment, the rider with the 7 plate. Jeroen van Eck, the defending world champion from 2024, is the rider in orange from the Netherlands. The German rider in white, the rider from Slovenia in the bright green. That's very, very quickly. Van Eck having nothing. He does not want to get caught up like Perrin-Gagné. He's going out the front from the start. Very quickly, Molnar onto his wheel. These riders are absolutely adamant they want the qualification place. The defending champion wants the opportunity to defend that title, and Van Eck, he is absolutely pushing on. Molnar, the rider from Romania, in 2. Then it is Zagar from Slovenia and Rijker from Germany. Wow, look at this. The 2 riders here as they come into the finish straight for the first time. They are about to go out on lap number 2. Van Eck will lead them out, the defending champion. Molnar in 2. Molnar riding strongly this year. He was 4th in round 1 of the World Cup. He was 4th in round 2. He's made both big finals in those World Cups this year. He's going to want to make the final in the World Championships today, and he goes into P1 here. So Molnar goes into P1. And it is indeed Zagar who goes into second. Van Eck, the rider who took this out on lap 1, is in trouble now. He's pushing on the climb and coming up on the side of the Romanian, but the Romanians having nothing of it. They drop into the descent, the rock garden, the drop. They've got the drop onto the concrete. Here they go onto the tarmac. It's Molnar here, the Romanian rider, pushing on strongly. He wants that spot. Wants to keep his riding consistent. He wants to make that final. He's not missed a final this year so far. Comes down off of the rumble strip. It's the first 2 riders that go through, and we've got 3 riders lining up here. Molnar takes the wide line. You need the wide line here. And it's Van Eck, and Van Eck is up against Zagar here. Zagar is going to go through. He's going to take out the defending champion. Wow. 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 The defending champion, Jerome Van Eck, taken out on the line by the Slovenian rider Matic Zagar. Phenomenal racing. I tell you something, there's going to be a lot of chatter down there at the moment. Anything can happen today. Now, on the start line at the moment, we have Kylian Hampano, the French young rider, Theo Hauser, the rider from Austria, Furkan Akam from Turkey. And it is also Attila Gereli, the Hungarian rider who rides so strongly as well. Now, pushing on here, the rider from France, sitting on P2 at the moment, just there, just going around, sitting, wow, I mean, amazing. Setting the 3rd fastest time in that individual time trial earlier on. The young rider from France, just 18 years of age. And I'll tell you something, young riders really do push on the XCE circuit. We've seen fabulous young riders progress. Sondra Roca has progressed from the XCE circuit. He's now dominating the Under-23 World Cup at the moment on the XCO and the XCE. Multiple disciplines on mountain biking, and it's fabulous to see the riders transitioning between them. Now Theo Hauser, the rider here, pushing on. He finished 5th in round 1, 10th in round 2 in the World Cup, but he is the reigning European champion from 2024. So Hauser, the rider from Austria, here goes through in 1st place at the end of lap 1. Hampano, the young rider from France, in 2 at the moment. Akam goes through in 3rd place. That's the rider from Turkey, and we're going to see him try and challenge now for that 2nd spot. Attila Gereli, the rider from Hungary, currently in that 4th spot. So the 2 leading riders here, Hauser and Hampano, pushing on now on the climb for the 2nd time today in this heat. It's not the 2nd time today. They did the qualifications, the individual time trial and the 8th final in the men earlier this morning. There's then been a break in the day for our riders before we have gone into the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the finals for that World Championship. Those rainbow bands later. Well, at the moment it's Theo Hauser, the European champion, who's looking like he's going to secure a place alongside the young Frenchman Kylian Hampano. They shoulder check behind them. Furkan Akam, the rider in 3rd place from Turkey, is not going to challenge them, and it is indeed congratulations between the 2 riders. 2 happy riders progressing. Akam putting in a strong performance there, the Turkish rider, in front of a home crowd to finish in 3rd place today. So the men's quarter-finals now complete. We move to the women's semi-finals. You can see the women down in the start pen, just waiting for the conclusion of those quarterfinals, that heat number 4 in the men's. There we go, Attila Gereli coming over the line, the Hungarian rider. So Lind Kokosi, Molnar Zagar, Klemenchek Gegenheimer, Hampano and Hauser, the riders qualifying through to the semi-finals from the men's. So the men's qualification now done. The women's semi-finals are lining up as we speak. two semi-finals, exactly the same as in the quarterfinals. It's the top 2 spots that the riders are looking for to qualify for the major finals. The riders in 3rd and 4th will go through to the small finals today to decide the positions 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Now we have Maria Shasuka from Ukraine in 1. We've got the Dutch rider Didi de Vries in 2. The rider from Cyprus, Giorgio, and then we have the rider from France, Borrelli, in here as well. So you can see from the number boards on their plates, they finished 1st, 4th, 5th and 8th in that individual time trial earlier on, and it is Sjöström who is pushing on here. But there comes Didi de Vries up and over the top. She is adamant she wants to be in the major final today. She's adamant she wants to contend that World Championship title. She's riding clear at the moment, the Ukrainian rider pushing up onto her wheel. 2 riders going clear on the climb as the gap now gets closed down here. All 3 riders coming together at the moment. Didi de Vries taking the corner into the rock garden and the drop first. Margot Borrelli, Didi de Vries, Konstantina Giorgio and Maria Sjöström are the riders here in this qualification heat, and it is de Vries from Sjöström at the moment coming down off the drop here from the stage. And it is Giorgio who's going to contend. You know, the rider from Cyprus is the rider who's going to contend here for that 2nd spot. She's going to come round at the end of lap 1 in P2. She just makes that overtaking manoeuvre on the Ukrainian rider Sjöström in P3. Now it is indeed Borrelli P4. All 4 riders through and out onto the 2nd lap. Big push comes from Didi de Vries because Maria Sjöström is the rider pushing on again. She got pushed back into 3rd place. She doesn't want that. She wants a top 2 spot, and she's moving back into position. But Giorgio, the rider from Cyprus, well, she's not going to give up that fight very easily. So de Vries always strong on that section as she comes up off of that climb and onto that left-hand drop through the steps and down that early rock garden. It's one of the strengths of de Vries is part of the course, her cornering really strong. She also goes away on this top corner as well. The riders come back to her on the climb as she turns the corner. She's carrying momentum around the corner and really does move through. Now de Vries in 1, Sjöström in 2, Giorgio in 3. De Vries checks over her shoulder. It's not over yet. I tell you, these riders are still battling for those top 2 positions. Never discount a thing in Eliminator. Anything can happen at any point in the race, and you really have to get yourself and your machine over the line. Well, Giorgio comes through. She comes down off of that in 2nd place. This is going to be a sprint. De Vries is going to be clear in 1, but Sjöström and Giorgio are going to go head to head. Sjöström is going to take it because Giorgio, well, she has worked herself through to 3rd place today. The rider from Cyprus will finish in 3rd spot in the semi-final. She will go through to contend the small final for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. De Vries and Sjöström will go through to the major final today. Borrelli will also go through to that small final. So we've got 2 of our finalists for the World Championship title today. We need 2 more, and they are down in that start pen, ready and waiting to go. Mede from France, Serval from Estonia, Fromberger from Germany, and Sukapalova from Ukraine. The riders all cagey start at the moment. Nobody sure who they want to lead this out. Sukapalova has gone into the top position, but she is continually looking behind the German rider Fromberger, very circumspect in her starts. She wants to see, she wants to get a feel. 2 laps, it's a long lap here. Sukapalova goes into that 1st position. She takes that drop down through those steps, up and over the bridge. The riders lining up behind. Oh, interesting. Fromberger just stalled a little bit on that bridge as she came up and over. The rider is Mede from France, the rider whose wheel she is behind. Merrily Civil, the rider from Estonia, is the rider in fourth at the moment, and 3 riders here. 4 riders still in contention at the moment. Sukapalova riding strongly on the front, the rider from Ukraine, looking for her to progress to the final stage. As they come up onto the stage, they take the drop onto the last technical feature on this course today. They're going to drop down here into the finish straight and out onto lap 2. It's going to be Sukapalova from Mede, from Fromberger, from Serval. Those are the orders of these 4 riders. No big gaps yet. Everybody potentially in contention for those 2 spots in that final. Sukapalova pushing on up the climb. Mede comes round onto her side. It's going to be a battle here for that left-hand turn. Sukapalova goes in first, down through the steps onto the rock garden. Mede and Fromberger side by side as they come up onto the bridge. This is exactly the same order we had them on lap 1. What can Fromberger do? Can she close down past the French rider and come into P2? She's going to try and come round on the climb. Fromberger pushes on the climb. Mede pushes too. She comes up onto the shoulder of Sukapalova. Sukapalova takes the left-hand corner through the rock garden. This is so close. This is going to come down to the wire here. 2 positions in that final left. Fromberger, Mede, Sukapalova, 3 riders. They all want those 2 spots. They're up, they're on the stage. They're down, they're off the stage, they're onto the final feature. Mede comes up, she tries to come round Sukapalova into P1. Sukapalova holds her spot. She comes round into the finish straight. So does Marion Fromberger. What can Fromberger do? Can Fromberger battle Mede? Can Mede get it? Fromberger is going out in the semi-final. Marion Fromberger, she took 3rd place last year in the World Championships. She will not progress to the final today. Sukapalova from Ukraine, Mede from France will be the 2 riders going through to the final today to contest that rainbow jersey in the women's competition. Marion Fromberger and Merrily Serval from Estonia will go through to the small final today. Now, the men will have seen what's happened in the quarterfinals. They'll have seen what's just happened in the women's semi-finals. They know they have to execute the perfect race to get into that final today. Edvin Lind from Sweden, Jakub Klemenček from Slovenia, Simon Gegenheimer from Germany, and Luis Kokosi from Brazil. This is going to be a battle of the giants to get into that final. They're coming to the end of the start straight and they're still wide across the road. The Brazilian rider Kokosi, he is going to take over top spot as they come through. On to that drop up and over the bridge. They are still glued together. This is a quad. It looks like a quad bike, not a solo bike. 4 riders here, all just one group. You can't split them here. Kokosi, Gegenheimer, Klemenček and Lind, 4 riders side by side. Kokosi taking the line here as they go onto the tarmac, down onto the drop. He's got Gegenheimer on his right. He's got Lind on his left. He's got Klemenček coming up and over the top of all of them. Jakub Klemenček comes into P1 as they go up and over the stage. Lind wants to match Klemenček. He knows Klemenček will want to keep that absolute top spot today. He'll want to keep the form he's had this year. Klemenček will want to keep that golden jersey alive. He took 2nd place in the World Championships last year. He will want to go one better. Lind pushing on the climb on lap 2. Kokosi matching him, so is Gegenheimer and Klemenček. Nothing can split these 4 riders. Lind takes a wide line, picking up some momentum into the drop. Kokosi follows on 2nd wheel. The rider from Slovenia, Klemenček, is the rider looking out of this at the moment. Gegenheimer is in 4th at the moment. Kokosi dabs. Klemenček comes over the top. I tell you, nothing. Do not discount anything happening in this race. Klemenček makes the most of the dab there from Kokosi to take P2 behind Lind. It's looking like it's going to be Lind and Klemenček, but Kokosi goes, I might have made a mistake, but I don't mind. I know mistakes are part and parcel of mountain bike racing. I'm back in the game here. 3 of us for 2 spots in the final. Kokosi comes back. He nearly runs into Lind's wheel. Lind goes round in 1. This is going to be the battle for 2 spots. Kokosi is going to go through because Klemenček has gone down on the corner. We have indeed, he's fine, he's up, he's sorting himself out. He knew he had to give it everything, and when you are on the wire, anything can happen. Jakub Klemenček will not make the final today. He's up, he has his bike, he will cross the line. But Luis Kokosi from Brazil and Edvard Lind from Sweden will go through. That final was just, it could have been the final, not the semi-final. Klemenček will be so disappointed with that positioning and that instant. But he's up, he's on his bike, he is fine, he will come back. And I am sure the current leader of the World Cup will be wanting to win that World Cup now, given what's just happened in the World Championships. We have another semi-final to go. I know, the action here from Sakarya in Turkey is just phenomenal. We have Kylian Hampano, the young rider from France, up against the European champion Theo Hauser, the rider from Romania, Eddie Molnar, and the Slovenian Matic Zagar is in this race as well. Strong performance from him in the quarters, but it is Hampano, the young French rider, who really does want to push. Molnar is at the front of the race, though. Eddie Molnar, well, he is a rider who's made 2 finals this year in the World Cup. He's taken 4th place in both of those finals. He's going to want to go better than that today. The young rider, the 18-year-old rider from France, pushing on here. Do you know, taking no prisoners. Kylian Hampano pushing on the climb and really saying to the rest of the riders, I'm here and I can do this. So Hampano coming through and round into the drop. He's going to come off the grass and onto the tarmac for the first time. This is lap 1 of 2 in this men's semi-finals. The French rider in 1. Zagar from Slovenia in 2. Molnar from Romania in 3. Hauser, the European champion from 2024, in 4 at the moment. But nothing is separating these 4 riders. These men's semi-finals have been absolutely side by side, and Hauser now unleashes the power down the start straight, going out onto lap 2. He's gulping in the air. Oh, the battle royale on the climb at the moment. He wants that turn. He wants to get down those steps first. He wants to put a gap in. He wants to gain that momentum up and over onto the bridge. The rider from Slovenia, it is Zagar who's following him, but close on the heels is Molnar. The French rider, it is Hampano who led on lap 1. Now relegated to 4th place at the moment. 3rd and 4th will go through to the small final to decide places 5th through to 8th. 1st and 2nd will go through to battle it out for those rainbow bands, and Theo Hauser from Austria is absolutely adamant one of those riders is going to be him today. He's pushed on in this semi-final in lap 2. He's gone clear. He checks over his shoulder. He swings carefully into the finish straight. He knows he's got to get that bike over the line. And he does indeed. Hauser in 1. Zagar in 2. Eddie Molnar not making it through to the finals today. Kylian Hampano, the French rider, will go through to those small finals today. Absolutely brilliant riding from the French rider here in Sakarya. Now, we will start with the small finals going through 5th to 8th place. The women's will be up first, followed by the men's, before we go into the major finals today. But just confirming, Kokosi and Lind progressing from the first semi-final. Hauser and Zagar from the 2nd semi-final. We're going to crown a new world champion in the men's today. We're going to crown a new world champion in the women's as well. So the finals are going to look like this. Fromberger, Borrelli, Cyril and Giorgio will go in the small final for the women. Hampano, Klemenček, Molnar and Gegenheimer will go in the small finals for the men. Those 2 races will be up first. The women's getting ready down in that start pen. There you go, you can see the riders. So from Cyprus, we have Constantina Giorgio, Margot Borrelli from France, Marion Fromberger from Germany, and Merrily Civil from Estonia. This is for 5th through to 8th place at the World Championships this year, and it's Borley coming out hard. She goes over the line in one, but Fromberger and Serval are there as well. What is Fromberger going to do? Each of the heats, she sat in 2nd place through the heats and semi-finals. It didn't serve her in that semi-final. She got relegated down to 3rd. She's going out clear here. She wants 5th place today. She's going to want 5th place. She's going to want that top position in this small final today, and she's gone out hard from the gun to get it. Serval in 2 at the moment, Giorgio in 3. The push is on here from Marion Fromberger, the German rider in the small final. She's taking the corner here at the top of the climb, down through the rock garden, off of the first drop of the day. Then the second drop here onto the tarmac section, fast flowing, fast moving tarmac. You can see she's pushing here onto the stage feature. Nice new feature added here in Sakarya, dropping off past the steps onto the final feature of the course, down over the rumble strips. She's going to take the turn out onto the final lap here. She's riding for 5th place today at the World Championships. We are, of course, battling for the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Championship title for 2025 here in Sakarya in Turkey. 71 riders started out this morning in the individual time trial. We took 32 riders through to the quarters and the semi-finals. This is the small final for the women, and Marion Fromberger is looking for 5th place here. She's pushing on here on lap 2 now. Up and over the bridge. The chase is on behind for 6th, 7th and 8th place today. Incident just behind. One of the riders just challenged by that corner. But we've got Merrily Serval pushing on here from Estonia. She's really closed the gap down on lap 2 on Marion Fromberger. What has Fromberger got? So it's Fromberger in 1, Serval in 2, Borley in 3, Giorgio in 4. As Serval coming up onto the back wheel of Fromberger. Fromberger knows she just needs to push on to confirm 5th place here today. But 5th place for the German rider, Marion Fromberger, is about to be contended by the rider from Estonia. Merrily Serval is about to push on here. Fromberger coming wide into that final straight. She's going to push now. She's going to get up on that saddle. She's going to sprint for this. Serval is going to come through for 6th place. Unable to challenge Fromberger in the sprint for 5th place today at the World Championships. Margot Borley will come through for 7th place today. And Constantina Giorgio, after having a slip off the bike on that corner into the wood steps, she's back up, she's on the bike, and she is completing her race today. Just an issue there, the chain just off the bike. But as I said, anything can happen in Eliminator. It's short, it's sharp, it's fast, it's furious. It's 4 riders on the course together. And, well, you've got to get your bike over the line as well. So Serval just pushing on up the climb at the moment. She's adamant she's going to come across the line in the World Championships. The rider from Cyprus will take 8th place today. She's just going to reach down. She's going to put that chain back on, get that bike into working order. There we go. She will come through the rock garden and make her way towards the finish of the race. So the crowd applauding our riders out on the course. It is about your resilience, your dedication, your commitment. Back on to the bike for the downhill section here. Giorgio from Cyprus. The chain is off. There's problems with the bike, but she's adamant she's going to finish the race. And the crowd enjoying that level of resilience and commitment from our riders here at the Mountainbike Eliminator World Championships in Sakarya. There are steps on this drop-off. She won't be challenged in terms of dismounting. The stage where that rainbow jersey will be awarded later today. Now, if you are watching this for the first time and you are looking at Mountainbike Eliminator and thinking this is a fabulous discipline, you want to know more, citymountainbike.com is the website to go to. All the full details of the World Cups, the World Championships, the regional racing as well, all the news and updates. You can sign up there for the City Mountainbike newsletter, which will keep you up to date on everything Mountainbike Eliminator. There's also the YouTube channel that you can subscribe to, and of course social media. You can follow at City Mountainbike on Instagram. But now I think let's give Constantina Giorgio her due. Finishing the race, mechanicals, accidents, commitment, dedication. That's what this is all about. Giorgio from Cyprus finishes her race today. She will take 8th place today in that World Championship final. Brilliant racing from her. Marion Fromberger taking the win there for 5th place from Merrily Serval, who'll take 6th. Now, the men's small final will be the final up next. The riders lined up and ready. Hampano from France, Klemenchek from Slovenia, Molnar from Romania, and Gegenheimer from Germany. This should be a battle royale. It was a real mix in the men's race. Who was going to make the final? Who was going to make the small final? And these four, well, it could have gone anybody's way. It really could have done. Hampano, Molnar, 2 riders out front. Gegenheimer, Klemenchek, 2 riders behind. The riders coming through, and I tell you, that's a technical section there. It is more technical than it looks, particularly at the pace those riders are going into it on that corner. It is a really tight corner, and that feature causing challenges for our riders. Titouan Perry and Gagné having an issue earlier. We've just seen Giorgio in the women's small final having an issue with that technical feature as well. Now coming through and over, Molnar out in P1 at the moment, onto the tarmac, down over the drop. Hampano, the rider, in 2. Klemenchek and Gegenheimer are there as well. In fact, Jakub Klemenchek, the rider who is leading the World Cup standings at the moment, in P4 at the moment. The rider from Slovenia, just coming up alongside Gegenheimer. The 4 riders come back together again at the end of lap 1. They're going to go out and do it all again on lap 2. Molnar on the front, but here comes Gegenheimer. Gegenheimer pushing on the German rider, absolutely nailing it. Klemenchek is coming up on his wheel. Now we've got all change here. So we had Molnar and Hampano on lap 1 out front. Gegenheimer and Klemenchek 3 and 4. Now it's Gegenheimer and Klemenchek 1 and 2. Molnar and Hampano 3 and 4. Anything can happen, as we have seen today. This is for 5th place in the World Championships for 2025. Klemenchek comes up around Gegenheimer at the top of the climb, down through the rock garden, over the drop. Klemenchek stays in P1, Gegenheimer in P2, onto the tarmac. These 2 riders now battling it out for 1st and 2nd here in the small final, 5th and 6th overall in the World Championships. They come down off the stage. Gegenheimer takes it on the drop. The 2 riders coming into the final. Down the rumble strip, Gegenheimer is clear of Klemenchek. The 2 riders are now being challenged. Klemenchek being challenged for 2nd place. I tell you, do not discount anything happening. Molnar is now looking like he's going to take, he's going to sprint with Hampano. Hampano, the French rider, gets it, I think, from Molnar. So Simon Gegenheimer takes 5th place in the World Championships. Kilian Hampano, the French rider, will take 6th. Eddie Molnar will take 7th. And Jakub Klemenchek got a flat tyre. That's what the problem is. I tell you something, he really gave it his all, and the mechanicals today, you've got to get that bike round the course. Husbandry is key. The number of young riders that you tell in a coaching session to let those tyres kiss the floor when you put them back down, it is the same at world level. Well, this is world level. This is for the rainbow jersey. Sjöström for Ukraine is going up against her compatriot Sukapalova. Didi de Vries from the Netherlands and Azur Mede from France. This is for the rainbow bands, the World Championship title, to put on that jersey and call yourself the 2025 UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Champion. These 4 women all want top spot today. Sukarya comes through lap 1 in the lead. We've seen this from her before. Didi de Vries pushing on, taking momentum into the bridge. She carries that momentum onto the climb. She's going to try and close the gap down now. Oh, de Vries is battling to try and get back onto the wheel of Sukarya. Sukarya, the winner of round 1 of the World Cup this year, her very first XCE competition. She changed her program following that to come here today and to battle for this World Championship title. She's riding away at the moment from Didi de Vries, the rider from the Netherlands, who is in second. She's got another lap to go, and as we have seen today, anything can happen. So Maria Sukarya from Ukraine in 1, Didi de Vries from the Netherlands in 2. Those two riders now are going out on to lap 2 of 2 laps. Very, very close here behind, though, because Azure Mede from France and Maria Schurstuk from the Ukraine, they too are close behind. Sukarya pushes again. She pushes on the climb. The Ukrainian XCO champion has come here to claim the World XCE title. Schurstuk, her compatriot, goes into second place. She comes up and past Mede, she comes up and past de Vries. Mede goes into P3, de Vries goes into P4. How much work has Didi de Vries put into this today? Is she paying the price for those early pushes, securing herself? Mede goes past Schurstuk on the climb. The battle for second place is not over. Azure Mede from France goes into second place. Maria Schurstuk goes into third. Sukarya is clear at the moment in P1 here. Dominant racing from the Ukrainian rider here. Maria Sukarya comes off of the stage. She's going to go back onto that stage very shortly. She's going to want those rainbow bands. She's got to get that bike over the line. She's got to finish in P1. The bike is in 1P. She checks over the shoulder to see what's happening behind. Mede is in P2. Schurstuk from Ukraine is P3, but Maria Sukarya is the world champion for 2025. The rider from the Ukraine changed her racing program this year to target XCE after racing round 1 of the World Cup. She's rewarded with the rainbow bands. That is one happy rider. Well-deserved change of race program. Azure Mede from France takes second place today, and Maria Schurstuk from the Ukraine will take third. Didi de Vries will finish the race and take 4th place at the World Championships this year. Absolutely brilliant riding from all 4 riders. One happy rider from the Ukraine with a new world title. Maria Sukarya taking the cheers from the crowd. They've just witnessed her take the world title in the Mountainbike Eliminator World Championships here in Sakarya in Turkey. There's Didi de Vries. Oh, disappointment. But look at that. She gave it absolutely everything. She went out to win the rainbow bands. She gave it everything on lap 1 and paid for it on lap 2. But take nothing away from Maria Sukarya from Ukraine taking the title today. Well, the women's race, the results on your screen. Maria Sukarya taking the win in 2 minutes 26 seconds. 3 seconds clear of Azure Mede from France. Maria Schurstuk and Didi de Vries finishing in 3rd and 4th place today. Well, the men are lining up. We've got Luis Kokosi from Brazil, Edvin Lind from Sweden, Theo Hauser from Austria, and Matic Zagar from Slovenia. Away they go. This is the men's final. This is for the rainbow bands. This is for the title. UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Champion for 2025. Lind is going to want this. He is a man who has battled. He's won every single individual time trial for I don't know how long. He's a rider who is so strong, but he's a rider who just sometimes doesn't pull it together on the day. He is adamant on lap 1. He's pulling it together. He is going out from the gun hard to win this World Championship title. Kokosi in 2 at the moment has been the surprise for me of the day, actually. The rider from Brazil has been performing absolutely brilliantly. So Luis Kokosi, he's the American Continental XCE champion. we should know he has form, but Kokosi from Brazil currently behind with Hauser and Zagar. Now Theo Hauser coming strong on the second lap, and Edvard Lind is now going to hold this form because he's going to go through at the end of lap 1 in the lead. What he needs to do is go through at the end of lap 2 in the lead. That's the important number, and Lind goes out onto lap 2 clear. The battle is going on behind, and Theo Hauser now lighting the touch paper and trying to push on the start straight of lap 2, but Kokosi is now going clear of the riders behind. Luis Kokosi from Brazil is looking like he's working his way clear now into... Oh no! I just said it is those steps in that corner, of course, really technical challenges today. Luis Kokosi getting caught on that technical feature, as we've seen a number of riders do, carrying so much pace into that feature that they really do need. Well, look at that, Lind dabs on that corner. He's pushed on so strongly to win this. You know, you cannot always win it clean, but you've got to be able to respond to the challenges that are thrown to you along the way, and boy have our riders had challenges in the Eliminator today. But Edvard Lind from Sweden, he has wanted this. He has wanted this so badly. Today he has gone out from the gun. He can't quite believe it, but he's still got to get that bike over the line, and he is round into the finishing straight. The Swedish rider has done what he has been trying to do all season. He took the World Cup last year, he's taken the World Championship title this year. The rainbow bands are for Edvard Lind. Hauser comes through for second place today. Zagar, the Slovenian rider, comes through to take third. And Kokosi, who has had the technical challenge with those steps, not the only rider today, will come through for fourth place today. Hauser, the current European champion, congratulating Lind, the current world champion. What a race! Edvard Lind taking the applause of the crowd. The rider from Sweden. He is going to be one happy rider today. Luis Kokosi coming over the line and finishing his race. All of our riders today, whatever instance they've had on course, whether it's been mechanicals, whether it's been technical features on the course, they have all come over the line and finished their race today. Edvard Lind taking the World Championship title. They're confirmed. 2 minutes, 7 seconds, 5 seconds clear of Theo Hauser in second place. Matic Zagar 6 seconds back in third. Luis Kokosi coming through for fourth place today from Brazil. Well, very shortly we will be able to hear from our new world champions. And we are also going to watch them take on that flower ceremony before the medal ceremony later. Let's just take a little bit of a look back at some pictures as we see the celebrations continue. And this is how it was done. Lind went hard, he went hard from the start. Yeah, not without incident though, losing the pedal, but keeping his cool, keeping his confidence, keeping that commitment to task. That task from Edvard Lind, taking away the World Championship title. So the stage no longer becoming a feature of the race, but now getting ready to welcome the top 3 in the men's and the women's competition. Edvard Lind still can't believe it, still taking the applause of the crowd. It's going to be the women up first onto that ceremony, onto the flower ceremony. You can see Theo Hauser now finally getting up, taking that silver medal away today. He is also going to be a happy European champion, now coming second in the World Championships for 2025. So the stage being set in front of our riders for the ceremonies today of the 2025 UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Championships. we are going to hear from both of our world champions. Maria Sukapolova, the rider from Ukraine who took that win in the women's race, is going to be up first. The women's flower presentation with those 3 riders coming up very, very shortly. You can just see what it means to these riders, this world title. They compete all over the world and are really supportive of each other. Marion Fromberger, who took 5th in that women's race, congratulating Edvard Lind. They really do form a close-knit community in the Eliminator mountain bike community. They look out for each other, they support each other, they battle with each other the second the whistle blows. Now we see Maria Sukapolova is going to be awarded her rainbow bands alongside Edvin Lind in the men's competition. Those 2 riders will walk away today with those rainbow jerseys. So Sakarya home to not just mountain biking, home to BMX and road racing as well. A lot of urban cycling as well. It really is a cycling destination in Turkey, and one that is happy to host and brings out the crowds. So we are indeed going to hear from Edvard Lind first, the winner of the men's competition.
Yeah, oh, I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
This must be something you have been dreaming of so long. You had bad luck last year in Ireland. You were so close already then. Yeah. It must mean so much.
I was just out. I was so looking for revenge. Like last year, crashing out is like a horrible feeling, and ever since then, I dreamt of this day.
You were so strong, man. In the final, you took control. You had like wonder legs today.
I know I was fast in time trials, so if I beat them then, I might as well do the same thing in the finals and just go from front.
You will be for 1 full year in the rainbow jersey.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to every single day.
Enjoy, man. Really, enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Well, Edvard Lind, the new men's world champion in mountain bike eliminator, he can't believe it, but he's going to need to let that sink in because it is indeed true, and he did indeed take on board that time trial prowess. You can see now the flower ceremony for the men's competition. Edvard Lind, your new world champion for 2025 in the mountain bike eliminator. Theo Hauser takes the silver medal for Austria. Matic Zagar takes the bronze medal for Slovenia. So as the men work their way off the stage, a little later on today, the medal ceremony will take place and that rainbow jersey will be given to Edvard Lind. I'm not sure he is actually going to take it off till he believes he has won it, but he has indeed secured that World Championship title, and we'll see him in Arlen on the 12th of July, the next round of the World Cup, wearing it. The women's flower ceremony will be up next, but let's hear from Sukapolova first.
Maria, you're the 2025 UCI World Champion. You did it.
Yeah, I did it. I'm in so big shock. It's unbelievable feelings. I'm so happy.
You were so strong all race long, from the time trial to the heat. You seem to always have the control during all the race.
You know, it's so much hard. It's it's so much hard. I think I'm like go to the final, but not to the podium. But I try to go, and I do my best, and I'm winner.
You're with 2 girls from Ukraine on the podium. It's a tough period for all of you. It must be so hard and so emotional doing this.
I think it's historical for Ukraine, and
it's so amazing to represent our country in this hard time our country. Everyone knows that the war is still going on, and we are so proud to represent this jersey, and she did it really, really well. And I'm so proud of she, because like last year she was struggling a lot with a health problem, and now she did it like she's come back, baby. Yeah, and I'm so proud of Maria. It's amazing to stay on the podium with her, because it's like a dream come true.
You did it. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, just proving dreams do come true. Maria Sukapova's best today was enough to be world champion. I don't think anybody could do better. Maria Sukapolova from Ukraine taking the rainbow jersey and the world championship title for 2025. Izua Mede from France taking the silver, and Maria Schurstuk from Ukraine taking the bronze medal. You can see the emotion down with the women's podium, touching us all in the studio as well today. But congratulations to our two new world champions. The racing today has been absolutely phenomenal. So I can't wait until we get to Aalen in Germany on the 12th of July. That's the next stop on the Mountain Bike XCE World Cup. We're going to see two new rainbow jersey wearers proudly on the start line there in Aalen. We're going to leave you with some shots of today. It's been a phenomenal World Championships from Sakarya. The Mountain Bike Eliminator never disappoints. Congratulations to our two new world champions, Maria Sukapolova and Edvin Lind. Aalen is going to be great. Join us there. Until then, we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.